Okay, let's do one more. In a race against time and the elements, Thorstein and Gunhilda must gather the final people and provisions and a new navigator for their journey across the sea, or risk losing everything for a dream that will never come to pass. Thor is not afraid to die of Ragnarok. He loves his wife Sif deeply and will murderously defend her honor at any given opportunity. The word Viking became a general term to describe the hordes of Scandinavians who raided and settled in various places in and around Europe between the 8th and 11th centuries. No cat was mistreated by Loki during our story. Despite this, the god of mischief decided to hide for a bit to let the dust or litter settle. Ha 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 ha. Litter. This is not the Grey Havens. Thorstein and Gunhilda's journey has ground to a halt as their proposed navigator abandoned them for. If they are to reach England before the winter storm arrives, they will need to find a navigator and replacement crew. Valdsnes, 871.
I can't take you with us, Sigmund. I'm not risking the lives of my men and wife to these sunstones.
You're making a mistake. With Frodi gone, I'm the best navigator you'll find this time of year, and you know it.
You've already deceived us once with your tales of magic pebbles. I'm not letting you steer us into rocks again. Without Frode to guide you, you're as good as blind.
So you'd rather trust whales and winds than your own Fialach? Bjorn was right about you. Try sailing across the sea in this weather. You won't get past the shore. Not without a skilled sailor.
You're absolutely right. I do need a navigator. But you weren't one to begin with.
Anyone could learn to sail, but every Norse crew had one member who was especially skilled. This person, the navigator, would coordinate the entire expedition and ensure the ship's safe passage. The Old Norse term for the navigator was Yidsjomgumador. He was the guide, that is, a man gifted with great knowledge of the route. The navigator knew which path was the fastest or least risky. Othur of Halogaland, a Norse seafarer, is a prominent example of a navigator. He recounted many of his trips to King Alfred of Wessex, providing the Christian world with a more comprehensive knowledge of the North and its people. Here's an excerpt of the Old English Orosius, chronicling the beginning of Othur of Halgrud's journey to the North. Sea. The Scandinavians are called the sea by many names. These titles included Aegir and Saer, which eventually became the modern word sea. The ocean was a source of life. However, her ever-changing mood would sometimes make her violent, merciless. She would deliver death to unwise seafarers. It was believed that labyrinths or stone mazes like this one could trap wicked spirits that might sway the sea to cruelty and violence. A fisherman soon to head out to sea would walk this path, possibly to encourage harmful spirits to follow him and become trapped in the maze. He would then be able to fish in peace. Stone maze from Sweden. So we're going to not fall.
Well,
No good.
Frode's betrayal cuts deeper with each navigator we're forced to turn away.
He got an offer he couldn't refuse. Wouldn't you choose to sail with a great sea king given the chance?
I already am. Regardless, Frode broke his word. Now we have no navigator and no men in the middle of the sailing season. How are we supposed to cross the sea?
Trick is waiting for us in Notfall with our supplies. He might have heard of someone trustworthy.
Notfall folk dread the great waters more than a feral cat. They'll be of no use in the upcoming storm. No. I'll ask my mother. She knows everyone in Ekundarsund. I'll find a clan to join us there.
Is it wise for you to go? They might not agree to sail with a woman aboard.
I'm sure my charms will outweigh their fears.
Yeah. This is with the sail down. No, our original navigator left us. Past the dock. Going around this.
Trick looks busy with our supplies. Good man.
I'll be off then, to find the men we need.
Be swift, my love. We'll meet you in Ekundarsund once the boat is loaded.
Water and sometimes alcohol were the first provisions to be brought on board. Generally, the sailors' diet revolved around non-perishable foods such as hard bread, dried fish, or dried meat. Perishable items such as fruits or vegetables were added to the menu when possible. However, they spoiled quickly and could only be replenished when stocks of such supplies existed. In other words, where sailors could find them in nearby settlements or by foraging on the land. On short sea or river routes, sailors would go ashore to fill up on food. Since cooking with fire was possible on land, the crew would enjoy a good, hot, and fresh meal like the one depicted here. On the high seas, however, the reality was quite different. Fresh meal and reconstituted wares between two crossings. Looks nice. Yum, yum, yum. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we're just, yeah.
Trick. I gather these crates are full of dried cod?
They are. And the other ones have hard bread, mead, and wool canvases for the crew.
Excellent. You have served us well for many years now, Trick. Faithfully.
I can't say it was a pleasure, but you've treated me with respect. I'm grateful for it. Now I hope my debt has been paid.
In full. Are you sure I can't tempt you to come with us? Your help would be invaluable.
Shackles here versus shackles across the sea? Tough choice to make.
Oh, you misunderstand me. I free you, here and now. But if you return to me willingly as a slave, you can purchase a place amongst my crew. Once we're established in the land across the sea, I'll free you for good, and take you as my partner in trade.
Not many slaves would get an offer like that. Well then, let's get these supplies on board before the storm hits us.
As Thorstein and Trigg load the ship, Gunhilda makes her way toward Ekundarsund. Speak to your mother. Taking a horse to Eckendorfer would save some time, but it's not without risk. Riding a four-legged animal before setting sail could bring bad luck on your journey.
Look at you.
So yeah, riding would save time, but it would be considered a bad omen.
Four legs are faster than two.
Some animals were taboo. As a matter of fact, modern archaeology has proved that horses and other taboo animals were included in Scandinavian expeditions such as the Icelandic settlement. This scientific reality might seem to suggest that the taboo against mentioning or ferrying farm animals aboard a ship was not taken seriously. However, when it comes to studying the beliefs of ancient cultures, it helps to be cautious. Many practices which were logical at the time may seem to be contradictory when seen through a modern lens. So, if one accepts that maritime taboos were at the time logical and real for Scandinavian people, one needs to consider the other archaeological discoveries in that context. One possible theory that could account for both the existence of animal taboos and the archaeological evidence of horses aboard ships is that these taboos could be ritually challenged. Scandinavians might have been able to counteract the bad luck by breaking the taboos on purpose. Weather vanes were used to know the direction of the wind. This knowledge was fundamental, even vital, to seafarers. It is therefore astounding that this weather vane was made in the shape of a horse, a land animal that could have been taboo to speak of on board a ship. Let's just run.
There it is.
Still plodding along.
It's cruising, man.
I'll make my way to the dock at
It has
someday.
been months.
No.
This bird is still in the water.
I'm making my way. I'm coming on board. You'll see. Foxes. Why keep saying panoramic view?
Panoramic view.
Speak to your mother.
Mother will be happy to see me.
Yep, just checking.
I seem to have been visited by Goddess Freya herself. Come, embrace your mother.
Mother, it's been a while.
Far too long. The sheep miss you, Gunhilda. They can't bear the thought of losing you to the land across the sea.
They might not have to.
Whatever is troubling you, my love, we will remedy it.
We need more men. The clan we recruited has decided to remain on land. We're left with no navigator nor crew.
Some clans have just returned from the sea. I've seen them camp nearby. I can take you to them, but you'll have to be persuasive.
Do you doubt my abilities, Mother?
I wouldn't dare. You've always had wits sharper than Gungnir. I can only hope that just like Odin's spear, you will return to me.
You know we must go where our opportunities lie. This land is overcrowded. We want our own fields, to harvest our own crops.
All right, I won't push any further. Your father will be heartbroken.
And you won't be?
My heart broke the day you left our home. We've arrived. Go on, love.
Thank you, Mother. Free men of Eikundarsund, heed my call. We are looking for those brave enough to defy the whale road with us. You! Will you come with us?
It's bad luck to sail with a woman. I won't sail with you.
Good. We'd have no use for your lack of judgment on board. Bondi, join us.
My men and I have just returned from years of Vikingur with Guthrum's warband. It's time for us to tend to our crops and see our children grow.
When do you leave?
Today,
Have you sailed before?
my husband sailed with Harald Jarl himself. He sailed enough for both of us.
I've learned to be wary of boastful spirits. Your word alone isn't enough.
How can I convince you to accompany us?
Well, why are you leaving our northern land?
My husband is a second son. If we were to stay, our farm will pass to his eldest brother, and we'll be left with nothing.
I understand that all too well. My men and I have found this temporary campsite, but we've got nowhere to go.
Then come with us.
It does sound tempting. Would you have enough supplies for all my men?
My husband is loading the meat and the dried fish aboard our ship as we speak. We'll have plenty for everyone.
How will we be sleeping?
We'll protect ourselves with wool canvases.
That should be enough. How will you find your way across the sea?
We'll observe the signs Midgard has given us. The birds, the currents, the stars. The spirits will show us the way. We need someone to interpret it.
You're right. I can help you around these shores, but in the midst of the wave world, we'll need an expert.
We? Have you decided to come?
I have. You speak true and my men are ready to settle.
I'm honored. Gather your men and your things. I'll take you to our ship.
I should know better than to ever doubt you. You excel once
There's
again.
little to stand in your way when you aim for the sky. Stigur's clan will accompany us. But we remain short a navigator.
I thought of someone while loading the ship.
Who?
You'll need to trust me. But we must reach Heloia first. And fast. The storm is imminent.
I know where Heloia is.
Then, lead the way.
Mysteries of the Shore. The shore was a liminal space, a threshold between life and death. Magic rituals were thought to have a greater chance of success if they were performed at the water's edge, and drowned sailors were often laid to rest there. Legend said that ghosts couldn't cross over water. Therefore, to prevent angry spirits from traveling inland to haunt the living, the dead were buried at the edge of the sea, in the intertidal zone, so that their grave would constantly be covered by running water. Stone monuments were raised to mark these burial places. The stone pictured here could have been used to stretch the woolen thread of a sail in the making, but some specialists believe that it could also have been an amulet of some sort. Did this stone come from the shore? If so, ancient Scandinavians would have considered it to be filled with magical energy, and likely to bring good luck or provide protection. Traveling by rivers and other interior waterways would have involved portaging. This is when sailors take the boat out of the water and transport it over land. Scandinavians would have used portage to avoid obstacles such as rapids or waterfalls, or to find and follow a new route. When possible, they would have carried the boat on their shoulders, as represented here. Otherwise, they would have dragged it behind them as they walked. With their long ships, Scandinavians sailed the Mediterranean and Black Seas. They journeyed to the White Sea and colonized Atlantic islands such as Iceland and Greenland. On their travels, they reached destinations as far east as Iraq and as far west as North America. They traveled far.
We must exit the fjord. Sail right. Now straight ahead towards the setting sun.
In a society with neither maps nor compasses, a sailor needed a keen knowledge of the seascape. There were several ways to acquire this sea lore. One was through ancestral tradition. Late Iron Age Scandinavians used sailing routes discovered dozens of decades earlier. They passed this knowledge down from generation to generation through an oral tradition. Their maritime expertise was transmitted by word of mouth to their descendants, who secured it by repetition and imitation. The other way to learn sea lore was through direct experience. Becoming a sailor required being in the field, or in this case, on the boat. Sailors were constantly performing the same shipboard maneuvers and traveling the same routes. Through repetition, seafarers became familiar with the motions of the sailor and of the ship as it navigated different weathers and currents. This practical style of learning helped sailors gain a much deeper understanding of seafaring than they would have through a theoretical approach. Here's a beautiful photo of Norway, showing the stunning grandeur of the landscape that flanked Vikings on their way to new and adventurous expeditions. Here's a picture of Norway.
Now, get closer to the shore, but make sure to keep the rocks on your left and the land on your right. We don't want to damage the hull.
Reward for strength to Valhalla pay. Then horns resounds the mighty horn. For those who fight, for those who fall. For those who fight, for those who fall. Warlord weaves his web of fear. Each man gets his fated share of blood-red surge. The warrior
Embrace the shore until you see a tower of ice.
Ravens scan the battlefield. Ravens scan the battlefield. The beaten blaze no trail of red.
Yep.
Loathing gaze upon the dead, and horns resounds the mighty horn. For those who fight, for those who fall. For those who fight and those who fall.
There! The ice tower! Sail towards it! But beware, we're in shallow waters now.
For we who fight, for we who fall.
That was a nice song. Maybe he wants to dock here, or...
Well done. Now we're going to pass a small island filled with sea lions.
Missed the marker. Now, I'm following the... Yeah, I think so. I think I was too far inland, so...
Past the Sea Lions Island. Our destination is ahead. Do not lose your course through the storm. Do you see the light? Go towards it. It's our destination.
Reward for strain to Valhalla take. Then horns resounds the mighty hall for those who fight.
Oh, you didn't have to stop mid-verse.
We've arrived! This is Helloya!
Excuse me.
From basically number 1 to here.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here.
Bjorn, brother, I've come to...
Brother? When have we ever been brothers?
We were in the same Felak, Bjorn. We've sworn oaths to respect, support, and protect each other. They still hold true for me.
Those oaths were broken long before my exile, Thorstein, by both of us. You might have forgotten, but I've had years of solitude to remember.
Your scorn would be the death of us all. I haven't forgotten, but I refuse to let the past haunt my future. Maybe you should do the same. We need you, Bjorn. Join us. Lead us through the salted mountains.
Is this a trick? Why come to me?
Can't you trust that not everyone is deceitful? No other sea rider Tames the waves like you do.
Now that I can believe.
Take me to your ship then, and we'll leave this wretched place.
I see you've made a true sea king of yourself.
It wasn't always pleasant, but I haven't been idle.
It must be nice to have Harald's support.
Mostly Gunhilda's. But yes.
Still making his way there.
Gunhilda, you haven't changed.
That's
Still
enough
as-
from you. Leave us.
As merciless as the Northern Sea.
I know what you're going to say.
Yet it didn't stop you from making such a foolish decision.
You would have never agreed.
And with good reason. How are you so quick to forget?
I'm not.
I don't trust him.
Neither do I. But he's in that boat as well. He won't put us all in danger.
And after that?
After that, we'll part ways. The Isle of Britannia has plenty of land to spare.
May the gods hear you.
Cramped quarters on board a longship were a real issue for crew members. They would be forced to occupy severely limited space, sometimes for several weeks at a time. Sometimes as simple as sleeping could become a logistical nightmare.
It's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like you basically have a seat and that's it.
Cracking like sardines.
Longships had an open deck. The distance between the keel and the floor was relatively short, usually less than a meter. This meant that supplies had to be stacked around the crew. So did the equipment, which included oars, weapons, and anything else the sailors would need during their travels, or once they reached land. All of these items left the crew with very little room to move around, as can be seen in this photograph. Sleeping conditions depending on the type of travel undertaken. During short voyages or river journeys, the crew would pull the boat ashore and sleep on land. For long-distance ocean crossings, crew members would be forced to sleep on their bench or on the floor. A canvas would be stretched over the crew, forming a tent that would protect them as well as possible from the weather, while providing them with a roof under which to rest.
One giant sleeping bag.
Crew on the River Trent.
Head towards the eye of the storm! Brace yourselves! The road is treacherous!
With the help of Bjorn, an old foe turned ally, and Stigger's crew, Thorstein and Gunhilda are set to depart. As they sail toward new lands, will they be able to leave shared enmities behind, or will the past return to haunt them? Journey begun. Early medieval horse, fine mount. Brother Elric, now a confidant of King Alfred, has been Guthrum's hostage at Chippenham for 5 months. In order to win his freedom, he must convince Guthrum to seek peace, which the aging Jarl is loath to do. Love the skiing. Love for skiing was reflected in Scandinavian mythology. Indeed, Ullr, god of winter and hunting, and Skadi, a giant associated with bow hunting, winter, and mountains, were both excellent skiers, or so said the ancients. The Blue Tooth stands for Harald Bluetooth, a 10th century Danish king. It is a bind rune, a superposition of two runes, H and B.
Because he united the kingdoms of Norway and Denmark.
The word Drakkar was invented by a journalist in France during the 19th century, inspired from the Old Norse Dreki, or dragon, referring to some of the most iconic figureheads. Falling from a great height won't lead to any health loss.
What? No fall damage?
It could just be for this, though.
Oh.
Son of a Jotun would prefer to see the Aesir be the architects of their own destruction, rather than having to do the heavy lifting himself. Brother Ilric has been Guthrum's hostage for many months, while the tide of battle has turned in Alfred's favor. Now Alfred has besieged the Danes' army at Chippenham, and all await his final word. Will it be execution or mercy?
Praise be to God, the Most High, glory of glory, Lord of lords. Help me to show your grace and forgiveness to those who need it most.
Guthrum Jarl approaches!
For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Elrich, are you done speaking with your god for now?
My dialogue with him is constant, my lord, even if my lips are not moving.
My lord this, my lord that. Oh, you Saxons are quick to bend the knee. Perhaps it's why you make such excellent prisoners.
And yet King Alfred's army of Saxons has you surrounded.
Yes, well. I had expected him to send for you, but 5 months and more he has left you here with no word. Perhaps you are not as precious to him as you led me to believe.
For what man knows the things of a man except the spirit which is in him?
Or perhaps he finds your habit of quoting dead men as insufferable as I do.
I doubt that very much, my lord.
Come, walk with me. It must be almost time for you to pray again. I'll speak plainly. I've kept my men from pillaging Chippenham so that...
Ooh, we got a new area. Chippenham, down in Wessex. Say fast travel unavailable until the barter for peace is complete. Okay. Jorvik. Inspired by archaeological findings, this spectacular mount reflects the rich craftsmanship of the early medieval era. Ride with pride. This pack includes mount, bridle, and harness. Complete all the quests. Complete a barter for peace. Complete new life, new lands. all characters.
Rebecca.
Still need more.
Odin.
Almost got Odin.
Ivor the Bones.
15 behind the scenes stations.
Sigurd.
Discovery sites.
King Alfred.
Discovery sites.
Valka.
Completed Alfred's legacy. Discovery sites. Where fates align.
Sean.
Behind the scenes. Discovery sites. All discovery sites. See, I'm currently on a border for peace. We have 1, 2, just 3 left. No, 4 after that. We're on 4th. Yeah, we got. Yeah, I'm saying we got this and then 3 more, so we got 4. But I'm gonna end it here for now since it's very late and we've already gone through at least half of this stuff. So, we'll continue on our tour next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.